Hey Porter, it looked like the first half offense seems like it was flowing pretty well. Shots were going in, but maybe the second half looked more like a struggle. Just maybe what was the difference between the first half and the second half offensively?
I thought we came out, we were ready to play, but they got us right in the mouth right to start. We called timeout. Thought the last 15 minutes, thought we played really well to get it back to 1. We didn't guard well enough in the second half, and it put a lot of pressure on our offense when you don't guard that way, and they do that to you. You got to give them credit. 2 turnovers, that's really good efficiency. I don't care anything. We've been better than that. We didn't make them have any stress as much as we need to, where we have. And you got to give them credit. There was a lot of thinking going on. What are you doing with Hunter? What are you doing with KJ? And then you got Dewan. I think their big 4 showed up and showed big. Their big 4 right there really put pressure on us. McCullough, super efficient, 21 points, 12 shots, drew fouls. KJ really in the first half had all his 15 in the first half. Dewan, 8 assists, no turnovers. They get you in the pick and roll. They get you in a post up. They rebound their misses. Those 4 really. It almost made you think so much that we weren't as aggressive as we needed to be in the second half.
Well, you mentioned those top guys. How impactful was Dickinson's shot blocking and rim protection tonight?
No, it's as good as a turnover. That's what I tell our offensive player. If you go in there and he's between you and the basket, you got to play off 2 feet. It's something we stressed and we didn't get into the game. Those are as good as turnovers when you drive it in and think you're shooting over him. He'll rotate over and help, and then you got to kick it. And we rely so much on it. We just need to be better with that. He's a great player. That's why he is who he is. We need to be more aggressive. We couldn't run. We couldn't run because we weren't getting stops. We have a thing called gaps where it's 3 stops in a row. When we have 7 gaps in a game, we're usually winning. It's over the percentage. We had 0 gaps in the second half. We didn't have one time that you get 3 stops in a row in the second half. You're not going to be Kansas. You're not going to be Kansas doing that. You're not going to be a lot of teams doing that. But we had to get more stops so we could run on some misses, get some things going. Just put a lot of pressure on our offense, not getting any stops.
Yeah, Porter, there in the first half, they get up by 9, and then it looks like they might be able to stretch it out from there. Y'all are able to get back in the game and take the lead a little bit. What did you feel like y'all were doing so much better than early in the game, and how did things sort of get away?
I thought after the first 4 minutes, after that they got that lead, I thought we were doing some good things defensively. I thought they got KJ got some offensive rebounds. They had I don't know how many second chance points. They had a low IQ play. We literally always talk about it. If you're falling out of bounds, either eat it or throw it all the way back. And sure enough, we blindly threw it, and they get an and 1. So they had a bunch of bats. I thought we were doing some good things defensively in the first half to claw back in, and we just didn't do that in the second half. And it's a credit to them. They're super efficient. Their strengths, they played right to them. They took care of the ball. They really took care of the ball. I would have liked to have been more aggressive to do some things to cause more turnovers, but they didn't. But it started with our defense. We didn't get stops, and they executed and took care of the ball.
Porter, were you happy with the poise that your team showed, or did you feel like in the second half they were trying for some of the 8-point plays that you've talked about?
When it got really tough, you got to answer tough with tough. And I think it was just putting a lot of pressure, on our offense when we couldn't get stops. And, I don't want to send you want your guys to be aggressive, and then they might be on a 4-0 run, and all of a sudden our guys are going to be aggressive, and they drive it in. And that's as good as a turnover. Driving it in on Hunter or KJ when they're straight up and down, you're drawing 2, you got to play off 2 feet and kick. You got to make that play. And he had so many. He actually blocked it off the shot. The guy who took the shot in the second half. We took the shot, we blocked it, and went off our guy. That was a good play.
Porter, Javian had a really good first half, kind of dried up a little bit until late in the second half. Was there a defensive adjustment you saw, or was it more about kind of the pressure of the game getting away?
They do a good job defensively. I thought, Javian created some things to happen. They were coming digging down on him. And then when we kick it, we got to make better decisions. The other guys got to make some better decisions. No, I mean, I thought, it just put a lot of pressure on our offense, especially him and Los, when couldn't get stops. You got to get stops in this league, and we didn't. We weren't, and it's a credit to them, like I said. But we've got to get some stops so we can get out and get some easy ones in transition. We got to get. It was either a free throw or a basket. We didn't get any flow defensively.
You already talked about their big four, but Furphy out there starting for the first time. Did you change anything? Does that change your approach? How do you handle when there's a new guy in the starting lineup?
It wasn't as much new. It's just what's his strengths. And his strengths is he can really run. He can really shoot it. So we knew that. So we was more of what his strengths were than anything new. Like we prepared for him off the bench. We knew he was going to start, but he gets runs. He got behind us in transition in the first half. That was probably my most, or in the second half. That was probably my most frustrated. I was really upset about that. He outran us and got a dunk. I thought Marco hit a good little 15-footer. We were trying to come back, and he hit a little 15-footer on there. So they made plays, and they got enough to do. But those big four, though. But I think Furphy's going to be a terrific player. I mean, he can shoot. He's athletic. He's got bounce. He's got activity. I think he gives him another weapon that I think is just going to get better and better. I think coaching and scouting against him, I think he's very good.